Okay. Hold on. Okay, that's off. Okay, so welcome to I guess another episode of our live stream here. So we have a special guest, and that guest is Tommy Stockstill. Hey, Tommy.
Hey, me and Bendy say hi. Hey,
Yeah.
y'all, I should say.
Oh,
Someone's got a new puppy.
Did you steal Kemlin's puppy again?
Yep, she's a bit of a snuggler. Because I had nothing to do with this.
Okay, so this, all right. There's a reason we asked Tommy, and we're going to get to that momentarily. But apparently, Chris has something to unbox.
I do. I got this. I was expecting it, so I know what it is. But I thought this would be way more dramatic. Is it really unboxing when it's a bag?
I should say, Chris, that you paid more for that than anyone else did.
I'm sure I did. Oh, and newspaper to read later. Yeah. Okay, so what I have in this fantastical tastical bag is... Oh, and there's a trach saver in there too. Sweetness. A mini baby groomer's wall.
It's the coolest thing.
Baby wall. So basically, when you're doing classes, because we were talking about trade shows a little bit before we hit live, and I'm positive we're going to be talking some more about it. It really helps when you have products that you love to talk about. It helps to have them on hand. There we go. That's how we unhook it. But the groomer's wall is a little bulky to travel with. So Tommy, in his brilliance, made a tiny one that fits even a carry-on. And it's like, what is it? You just mailed it. What is it, 2 pounds?
I probably at the most a pound and a half.
Pound and a half. And a trach saver, which I'm going to keep right with the groomer's wall. And I notice it is one of the OG trach savers.
That yellow is just so much easier to see when you're trying to show.
Yeah.
The boots thing, as Kim says.
Love it.
Thank you.
Love it. I borrowed Mindy's for my ergonomics class at the Northwest Grooming Show.
All right. So the reason I asked Tommy here is because there are so many great grooming products that are out there that are designed by groomers. Okay, and who better to know what it is that we need than a groomer? Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So, in order to get a product from idea to like, fruition, there's a little bit of a process. And I think sometimes, you have these great ideas, but you don't know what to do with them. And you either, I have done a couple times, like on a podcast or a live stream or something, said, hey, I had this great idea. I'm doing nothing with it. So if somebody else wants to do it, please do so, because I think this would be really helpful. All right. But Tommy, so when you decided, the first product you did was the groomer's wall, correct?
Correct. The first marketed product, I guess I should say, is the basement full of them.
Okay.
And I was driving with the window down. Sorry.
All right. So, okay,
we really did, because we didn't have much money set aside when, there's my wife, when Kim started grooming. So if she needed a tub and she was by herself, she needed a tub to get into. So I made one with a lift. It was her idea, but I figured out how to do it. And just her first shop's in the basement. That's what I should have said, because all the other stuff's down there.
Okay, so from the time you decided that you were going to take the groomer's wall and make a product out of it, can you go like the thought processes behind that?
I'll, I'll give you the thought processes without the anxiety because there's lots of that starting a business. Um, well, the first thing you do is you research a lot to make sure that it's not already out there somewhere. Uh, Mary, I talked to you about a product a year or so ago, and I did find it online. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, why put thousands into it, developing and uh,
Yeah, yeah. Saved me a lot of time.
right.
Thank you, Tommy. All right. So, like I said, don't discount the anxiety because I think sometimes we forget that that's normal. It's a normal part of it, and that if you're feeling anxiety or anxious over it, that it's perfectly normal.
I decided early on that I said, scared to death, nervous, don't believe that I can do it. There's no validation in my heart. Everyone else thought it was great, but if I didn't, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. And that's what I've been trying to do through this business is do it anyway.
Okay. So you decided to do focus. She said focus. Kim says for you to focus.
She's not on back meds.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, Tommy here is on back meds. You may want to have an opportunity to ask him questions that he may not normally answer.
Yes, I did pick this shirt out.
Okay, so getting back to the topic. All right. So you decided you were going to do this. You were going to take the groomer's wall. This is a great idea that you and Kim came up with, and you're going to market it. All right. So what were some of the things you had to do first?
Well, we had to have money put aside because it is expensive to get anything built. I had to research. It took years with the groomer's wall to research it, find what works, test it to death, and find out it doesn't work. And then finding a manufacturer. With the groomer's wall, I couldn't. We were just too small, too unheard of. So we built them in the garage. I hired a lot of college students and that sort of thing. So we got them built, and then you present them to the public. And when I first presented the wall, to me, it was an utter failure because I pulled it off the market. Our first hinges were rusty. So I said, I'm not selling anything with rust. So it took me a year to get new stuff. So that's still trying to convince yourself that your failure is still going to be a business. Again, back to that. But once I found a manufacturer with the trach saver to continue that, you just have to test the product. You have prototypes made, you test them. I have a scale in the garage where my daughter and I would hold on and hang our bodies to make sure that they were strong enough, and you learn as you go.
Okay. All right. So maybe what were some of the mistakes that you made that you learned from?
Oh, yeah.
That's hard to say. Well, you see, I'll spend 3 hours looking for a solution to something. Think, okay, that's it. That's it. I'm going to spend another hour just to make sure. Oh my gosh. And then the next day I see something that is what I searched for 4 hours. I do a lot of that. So those are mistakes. I'm not sure how to get around that.
I don't think
I think that's a mistake. I think that's just being thorough and working and the universe working out.
Yeah, I agree with you, but and that's what I was kind of trying to get at is that's why it's hard is they're not really mistakes. learning. I've read until my eyes bug out. Uh, Podcasts, when I was working at the state, if I was going 5 minutes away, I was getting some business podcast just to learn. But I didn't have a mentor early on. And there are mentors out there. That's a mistake. I should have found a mentor. I was afraid of asking, devaluing what my product was. Oh, it's just this little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I put into the chat, and I'm not sure, it should go wherever this is being played, but a book that you recommended.
Yes, this was one I read early on. It's only, I read this book early on. Once you get through the first part of this guy's talking about how great he is, then you get into the meat and potatoes. Well, the book was written quite a while ago, but I still apply those things almost every day. Now, I've changed some things, but it's still a good basis of what you have to do to get product on the market and from beginning to end. And there's some really good case examples in there. So if you're serious about wanting to do something like that, I recommend this book highly.
All right. And I will check later on, once this live stream is over, where that link did not post. And I will make sure that it posts. So if anybody is interested, the book is cheap. If you have an Audible account, you can get it for free. Other than that, it's pretty inexpensive. So anyway, all right.
And it looks like
Kevin
the
was
book-
named the book.
Oh, don't listen to her. What does she know?
He's trying to help you out, Tommy.
It's called The Black Sheep Formula, Nonconformist Guide to Creating, I think it's a online business, but the concept works for many, many things.
Okay. So, anyway, like I said, I will make sure I post a link to the book wherever the live stream is going once this ends. So if you want to get a copy of the book, it'll be easy to do so. Okay. So, and I think persistence pays off, right? And all of that research, that's phenomenal. I mean, even for everything that we do, like there's 4 of us up here who are speaking. We research the crap out of things.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we over research and we go down a rabbit hole, and then we're there for a while, and then we go back. What was I researching in the first place?
And then you come up with 5 more seminar ideas. Then it just keeps going.
This is a pro tip. If you're going to research something, okay, take a piece of paper and put what you're researching. Just print it out right there, just a sentence, so that when you go down the rabbit hole and you're wondering, what was I researching? You can go, oh, that's what I was researching. Let me get back on topic.
That's a really good point, Mary, because throughout this whole thing, I've written things down in a book that I carried around with me, because if ideas popped up, or, ooh, check this source, or, ooh, here's an idea, then I would write it down. I've got books all over the house that I
That's a problem.
my desk, that I have in my truck, but I write them in code now.
Mary, I got the Remarkable, and I can't live without it at all.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
oh my gosh, it saved me in Atlanta. I tell everyone about it for these reasons.
Okay. All right. So let me just tell you another pro tip for the Remarkable. Get this little doodad it's off of Amazon.
Okay.
It holds your pen. Okay.
Okay.
Because this stupid little pen that you use to write on is expensive, and if you lose it, you're out of luck.
I'm always afraid to. Oh, I'll have to do that.
And
Oh
how
my
did
God,
you learn
like-
that, Mary?
Okay. Here's the thing. There's 2 ways I learn things. Either I do it, or I watch somebody else do it. Okay. So, this is great. Okay. Now I know where my pen is at all times. I don't worry about losing it. I love this thing. Tommy, this thing is phenomenal. So I was of the mindset that I have like 14 and I still have, if I open up drawers, I'll find another notebook and I'll pull it out. And I'll go, oh, yeah, I think I wrote down this idea 4 years ago. Okay.
Especially if you can sketch on that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you could sketch on that. All right. And I do recommend making sure you get the cloud storage with it, because in the event you lose it, at least you won't lose your stuff, your work on it.
I was going to say don't erase your notes, because there's going to be times you're stuck or questioning something or just feeling bummed out. I haven't done anything. If I look through one of my old books, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I was that far back there. Don't get rid of your old notes, unless it's a security issue.
Yeah, no, there is nothing secure on that I have to worry about. Mostly what I put up on there are my templates for the summits. So I could just like fly through getting them set up. When I'm writing a new article for Groomer to Groomer, I'll write all my notes in there before I start to organize them. Any ideas for new workshops, same thing. I just use it just for brain dumps. For me, it's been phenomenal for that.
Yep. That's what in Atlanta, that's what I used it for. And I wouldn't have done, I actually started journaling in Atlanta because I had that. And I've never done it because I've never had a notebook. Like I wouldn't have had a notebook on me and I could make a little file and like, I could do this. And I just started writing and journaling and it really helped me out tremendously the whole entire weekend. I've only had it for a month. This thing's been a lifesaver.
And then I go over to Etsy and I look at remarkable templates and see what people have come up with. So yeah, I know, right?
I'm in trouble now. Thanks.
Okay, and so I have my calendar is now on my Remarkable, so that I don't have to. I don't like to bring this anywhere because this has everything in here. If I lose this, I'm like in big trouble. But I can now have one on my Remarkable, and I just put the dates that I'm doing things in, so that if somebody wants me to do something, I can look at it and say, hey, yeah, I can, and no, I can't. Okay, Camelin, it's called a Remarkable 2.
So worth it.
It's so worth the money. You know what? Being as we're groomers, I know the value of a case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, while this personally hasn't hit the floor yet, honestly, it's a matter of time before it hits the floor.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So
I have to
all right,
apologize
so
for all
moving
this
on to-
worming around. Kemlin's poodle sat on my mouse, and every time she wiggled her butt, I was close to losing you guys.
Okay, so we're back from. Okay, so I went to the Pasadena show, then I went to Groomed, and then the Tacoma show, and I'm smart enough to not go to Instagram.
It's only because it's
Okay.
across the country from you. Intergroom is wonderful.
Okay, but you went to Tacoma, which is across the country for you.
Yes, and I love it. I love it out there.
I love the show. I love my local show. But anyway, that's insanity. And for those who do that many shows, I'd like to know what your secret is, because I came home from doing basically my third show in a row, and I just wanted to like curl up in a ball somewhere.
You always get the joke
All right,
right.
so
Oh, who's going to Intergroom for their first year? It just says Facebook.
I am.
Yay!
It's my first time.
Oh, very excited.
I'm excited.
You're gonna love it.
Yes.
for those first time people going to Intergroom, and I know that's the next show, any tips, anything to do in the area that might be fun? Let's start there. It's Jersey.
Well, here's the thing. No. There's things I can think of to do, but they really all do require a car, because where Intergroom is located. It's at the Meadowlands Convention Center. So it's in Secaucus, New Jersey. So there's some strip malls. There's like a strip mall in walking distance, and the Tokyo Buffet. And if you want to take some extra time, it is close to New York City.
We're going in the first day. Like when we fly in super early on Thursday, and we're gonna go into New York for the day.
My partner in crime, Mindy, is actually coming in early, and we are hitting New York City Wednesday, and then back to New York to Chinatown on Monday.
Ah.
And then she's flying out
Okay.
Tuesday. So
Chinatown might be fun to do.
I mean, if you want to, if you don't want to do the whole big city thing, there's some stuff in the area. If you're into history, you can always go to Edison's factory. They have tours in West Orange, which isn't terribly far from Secaucus. Once again, you 100% need a car, but
Okay. And for those who are in the area, have a slice of pizza and think of me.
yeah,
And the pizza, and please have the pizza I am thinking about is the thin crust with the grease that just like drips off of
yeah.
pizza.
Like if you don't need to blot the top of your pizza with your napkin to get some of the grease off, it's not real pizza.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm making this a public service announcement. For those of you not from the greater tri-state area, find an Italian bakery and get a cannoli. And also wait, if you go into that bakery and you see cannoli shells that have stuff already in them, leave. They're going to hell for that. Leave. There should be a jar with empty cannoli shells, and they will take it and fill them for you. And they will ask, do you want chocolate chips? And you say yes, because I'm not a psychopath. Of course I want chocolate.
All right. And if you're going into that Italian bakery, okay, you also want to look for the Napoleons. They will be like this big. It's one per person.
Homemade rainbow cookies, or the
Homemade rainbow cookies.
the pinoli cookies. Yeah.
Can we tell I haven't had dinner yet? Because
We can tell the two of you haven't eaten yet.
Oh no, I've eaten. I'm just daydreaming.
Okay, so have something really good to eat. Think of me that I'm not there enjoying it, because there's a couple things I miss being here on the Pacific side. And one of those things is pizza, what I like to call real pizza.
Well, there's so many restaurants within walking distance of the Expo Center that you could eat a different place, like
there really is,
every day. And they're all, you just walk across the street. And that's what I loved about it the first time that I went there. And you can go somewhere different for every meal every day.
And if that Facebook user is Mindy, those are the pinoli cookies. Pinoli. I'm bad at pronunciation. Those are the good cookies. And there is I want to say it's called Tokyo Buffet. There is a buffet within walking distance of the convention center. And normally, when you go to a buffet and there is all you can eat sushi, it's like, oh, I'm going to die, clearly.
That's a good bet. Safe bet.
Right? No one has died. We go there all the time after every intergroom. And it's good. It's still buffet food, but it's still good sushi that you're going to be okay, and it's tasty. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Mhm.
Yes, it does. You won't die from the sushi.
You won't die. You won't even think about dying, and they have great cocktails.
Okay, so I was in a gas station one time, and for like a brief second, I looked at the sushi that was in the little containers. Yeah, I passed it by, Angie. I passed it by.
Thinking because you were looking to get trichinosis.
I don't know, but I was hungry, and a candy bar just didn't seem to cut it, and so I looked at the packaged food, and it stayed in my hand for a good 30
Oh, it
seconds
made it
before
to
I
your
took
hand.
it. Made it to my hand, and then I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, you know what? If I die, I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna hear all these like little live streams, lamenting my loss, but then Chris and Angie going, yeah, well, she was stupid, and Darwin won out.
No one should do this. No one. Why would you do this?
Like
Yes.
if you're in your low 20s, like anything under 26, you're forgiven that,
Yeah.
but you're also young enough you're not going to die. You're going to wish you were dead.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we are coming up on our half hour, and I know Tommy is either feeling really bad or really good right now. It's hard to tell which one.
I don't feel a lot right now. It'll be wearing off about bedtime.
Okay,
Okay.
so thank you for coming out here and talking.
You're welcome. And if someone is, I've helped a couple of people along the way. If they are serious about taking something to market, I'd be happy to point them in the right directions. It's not my interest for me, just for them. But I do say read that book first. It'll answer so many questions.
That is the cutest little thing.
Right?
Kim is home.
So you could also use it if you're grooming like hamsters, right?
You could.
I didn't ask the specifics, but a groomer contacted me and said this works so good on small mammals. And I knew not to use it on rabbits, and I know it works on ferrets. So.
Oh, the trach saver?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The trach saver is not something appropriate for rabbits, but it works great on ferrets and the little squirmy guinea pigs, especially the ones that get really zippy when you put them in the bathtub, because they like the tub and they run around like little crazy maniacs, and they're like, woo! And it's like, dude, and you're chasing around a little wet, soapy guinea pig. So yeah, if you put the trach saver on them, you can kind of you get them on a string, and it's good, and it doesn't hurt them. And,
My visuals are not appropriate for prime time.
Yeah, it's if you've never bathed a guinea pig, you haven't lived until you get like one that's used to being bathed all the time. And they get so happy that there's not like a whole lot of water in the bottom of the tub, but they enjoy the splashing and they're squealing and they're like, yay! And they're running around like a crazy maniac, but they're covered in soap. So when you try to get a hold of them, they like squish because you're like, and they're like, yay, I'm running in. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the trach saver helps out quite a bit because you just have them on a string.
That's what you get for turning.
We're not going to elaborate. You're going to have to watch it right from the very start.
No.
Yes, there is much squeaking and squealing and guinea pigness. Yeah, guinea pig haircuts are probably one of my favorite things to do. It was because of a guinea pig that I started grooming rabbits, actually. Guinea pigs are the most fun to groom. If you have never groomed a guinea pig, do it. It's a blast. They are hysterical.
Okay, so on that note,
On that note, go to your local show. More on that on an upcoming episode of
Yes.
the Traveling Groomers podcast.
yeah, so it's probably on the Traveling Growers podcast. It's going to be a series. All right. So it's going to be more than one episode on live trade shows.
Stop! I just saw I paint their nails and they're closing their out. I'm dead.
I have one
Okay.
little regular his that he comes in. His owner is a 7-year-old boy, and he saves his allowance to get him groomed. His name is Flash. And so he comes in for his nail trim and his bath and his nail filing, and he gets his picture done every time. So I have the boy come in the picture room with me, and he picks out his outfit and Flash. So for the circus theme, we have an elephant ottoman, and the little dogs ride on it. And so Flash was wearing his little clown outfit because I have guinea pig appropriate costumes, and he's riding the elephant. And as I was taking the picture, the little boy said, "He's the most handsome clown in all the world."
No.
I died. I died. It was the cutest thing I had ever heard. It was ridiculous.
All right. So Angie utters the phrase, I have appropriate costumes for guinea pigs, right? And are any of us surprised at that
Because
statement?
of course she does. Of course she does. If you said you didn't and that you had to go out and buy specifically for this little boy, then I would be actually shocked.
Of course, but you know better than that. I have we have 40 themes, and I have costumes for guinea pigs for everyone.
All
Why
right.
wouldn't
So
you?
at some point, you're going to have to post a picture of said guinea
Yes.
pig on at least one of these live stream
I
feeds.
will absolutely do that as soon as we get offline. It's downstairs on my drive,
Was he the
and I
one
will
who
show
was
you
the
him riding the elephant
I-
in his little clown hat. He's the most handsome guinea pig ever.
Okay. So again, we'll see everybody next week. We will be here next week. Tommy, thank you so much for taking time out of your day
You're very
to be
welcome.
here.
Bye, y'all.
All right. See you guys.